What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome in to another episode of Triple Play Fantasy Baseball Show. We are a proud member of Fantasy Points and the Fantasy Points. What a great start. Fantasy Points Media Group. Reminder, use code TRIPLEPLAY22 to get 10% off all the great tools over at fantasypoints.com. To be honest with you guys, it's like playing Grand Theft Auto with the cheat codes on. It's that simple. It's that great. I wouldn't lie to you guys. Tons of great tools over there. They have their redraft rankings up and they're live, ready to go. They've got their projections. They've got target leaders. They've got DFS tools. Seriously, all the great stuff you'll need is over at Fantasy Points. All right. You guys know what it is. Crew's back with you. Doc, Marty Party, and Elsie, little cheesecake. Got to go to Doc, though, because it is his birthday today. I was going to sing you a little happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Wow, that's impressive.
You like how I changed the tone David. Of my voice?
Yeah.
There?
You can sing better. Like a beautiful bird, David.
David asked me, he said, are you going to be drunk for the show? I said, no. So this is my first drink of the day.
How many drinks? Over or under right now, pause the podcast. Over or under, let's say, 2.5 drinks for the show.
On this pod?
On this pod.
I'll go. Does that include shots? I
was going to say actual full drinks, but alcohol.
Yeah, a shot's a full drink.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I'll go the over then.
I would probably smash that too. Did you have anything special you do for your 28th birthday today?
I didn't work. And got to see the family besides you, but I see you virtually, so it's kind of there, kind of with me also. And I get to see you guys, and I get to do my favorite pod. No shade to the football, but something about fantasy baseball.
Yeah, it's LC. Maybe it's the fact that we can see LC now for once. LC is on camera. His whole body is on camera. I forgot how trim he is, but he's there. LC, nice to see you again, buddy.
Well, we have one Britton Allen to thank for this. Our boy Britton, member of the TPF Triple Play Fantasy family, is going to be doing baseball stuff with us. He had an extra one, sent it to me. I couldn't be happier. This is a much better camera than the one that came with the computer that broke clearly. And look at this. I can look right into it and say hi and see you guys. You guys see me. I can't dress like risky business anymore while we're doing the show. I was doing a bit of risky business dress last week, but putting on clothes is a small price to pay. I did want to say I'm not going to be here next week for all the people listening. I am wearing the baseball hat. I'm going to wear this on my camping trip next week. It's going to be broken in like crazy for the week afterwards. So I will be able to rock this hat week after week after that.
Yeah, and that means he's representing the TPF's pod even when he's not here, wearing his trademark baseball hat there. And Marty Party got the fresh Triple Play hat and a nice camera there too. I think basically all three of us have a nice little camera here, and Doc's just going with his old computer camera. He's the fossil here. Marty Party, what's been going on in your world?
Man, everything's going great. Another week here, fantasy baseball. But seriously, a big shout out to Britton Allen. I mean, I think that's just it just shows how amazing this community is. Mm-hmm. He, reaches out, gives Art a camera just to help him out. So shout out to him. I'm super excited. I mean, Doc's about to get drunk. We're talking baseball. Let's go.
You can't beat that. Britton Allen is going to be doing 3 is a magic number for the Triple Play YouTube channel. He's going to be looking at the 1 through 3 spots of notable lineups and guys that are getting shots there that you might not realize. So when you pick up guys in free agency, fab, anything like that, he's kind of taking a look at those lineups and finding diamonds in the rough for you. So he has a very cool niche that he's going to bring. A couple other ideas he has too. So we're looking forward to putting those out there for you guys. Just a couple comments before we get started here. Happy birthday, Doc, from my guy Matt. Matt, love how you check in on all the shows, man. If you were able to get in the Discord, let me know, because we're gonna put the Discord in the chat if you weren't able to get in yesterday. And then our buddy Foxborough News checking in. Should I start Castillo tomorrow versus Toronto? I'm in a 10-man head-to-head points. I got Morton, Javier, and Self-Seth going tomorrow also.
I wouldn't.
Do you have starts restrictions, first of all, like maximum starts per week and the head-to-head points? And that's one question I would have. If you have a limited number of starts, yeah, Castillo is one I would probably not use versus Toronto, even though Toronto hasn't been that great lately.
And I disagree with both of you. I definitely would start Luis Castillo. The Blue Jays have scored the exact same amount of runs as the Arizona Diamondbacks. So just
Diamondbacks have a good offense.
Yeah, 23rd and 24th, I think it is right now. But
wow.
Yeah, hey, he look Castillo. I know he's been the ERA is rough, but over 9 innings, he has 7 Ks. So there's some upside there.
Yeah, I think it's do it. I'm more kind of like, if you don't have to do it, I wouldn't do it. Don't force it. But if you need the starts, then obviously if you want to take a chance, that's fine. I think for the most part, the three of us compared to Marty are more out on it. But Marty's hitting up right with his weekend Warriors, and he's been on fire recently. So if you want to trust him, I couldn't doubt you for that. Our buddy Albert checking in. He's also checks in on a lot of these shows. Albert, you are the man. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Matt, we'll put the Discord in the chat during the show. So if you're just stick around, I think Marty hopefully can pop that in there for you, where you can join our Discord here. And Foxborough says it's 12 starts, I think. So but I've used 3 so far this week, and I'm up by 40.
Yeah, I think you're at a position where you can just kind of sit back and chill with that one, because you got you probably have some weekend starts that you're looking forward to using. I would compare them. I would, if I had the time, I would rank all the starts I have left and cut off like the bottom 1 or 2.
I think that's
If Castillo's not the bottom one, then maybe cut a worse one. But I wouldn't use all of my starts left if I'm up by a decent amount at this point.
I would maybe even play defense. Like if your opponent is looking to stream a lot on Sunday, like pick up some of those pitchers just so he can't. Yeah,
I think that's a good call. Ultimately,
that's
I think
an etiquette move. I think that is a possible discussion of head-to-head etiquette. Daily moves etiquette.
Etiquette.
Yeah. I think.
Do you care about winning or not?
I'm with you. I think other people might have a problem with picking up someone you don't intend to use. That's why I think there are some leagues where you have to play a player if you pick them up.
That's stupid.
Yeah, I think league context is everything. True that. We got a packed show for you guys, so keep those questions and comments coming in the live stream throughout. It's our favorite part of the show, honestly, is answering questions and talking with everybody that's in the show. But of course, we're going to be tackling big topics from this past week, as Triple Play, as we do. Of course, starting off with our classic rundown. And where is my... we always start with our players that wowed us from this past week. And this was a late addition. I put in the extra 5 minutes to put this guy on here because, you know what? He deserves 5 minutes of my time. That's Nick Pivetta, a little Nicky P, coming out. Last 3 starts, 22 innings pitched, 10 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 20 strikeouts, which is equal to a .81 ERA and a 106 whip. Complete game outing versus Astros in his last start with 19 whiffs on 112 pitches, 35% CSW. Are we seeing a little Nicky P breakout? What do you think, Marty Party?
Well, I'm very glad. Once again, we're starting out with another weekend warrior. I was laughed at for picking Nick Pivetta last week. He had another amazing start. As you said, over the last 22 innings, he's only let up 2 runs. So is this who Nick Pivetta is? No, I don't think so. I think he's still like a mid-3, probably closer to 4 ERA. But I'm going to ride this train, until it crashes. And Doc, I know you'll be there when it crashes, but it's not going to crash here. He's going to be coming up. He has 2 starts next week too.
He has good stuff. It's just he's not consistent. But David, if he was really your boy, you would have put Nick Pivetta instead of Gene Segura at the top of the slide.
I put Nick Pivetta first because, as you said, some smart person picked him up as a streamer. and put him in his starting lineup versus the Astros.
I'm gonna give you your flowers on that, but he obviously didn't mean that much to you that he can't even put his name on there.
Did I not put his name on there?
It's Gene Segura at the top.
Yeah, you can't read it. It says Gene Segura.
I made a copy of the Gene Segura slide. How did I not put
a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy?
Oh, holy moly!
Man,
I get called out for that one.
This is bound to happen with our new modern technology of using slides. I had to make sure and check I didn't do that to myself, actually.
Yeah, I'll be the poster boy for us in case any of you guys made that mistake. But I will say, Nick Pivetta, the key thing here I really like, 20 strikeouts to 1 walk over his last 3 starts. That's huge because Nick Pivetta is known to walk a ton of batters. But, I mean, you have guys like the robot Phil Dussault calling him his breakout this year, drafting him in so many leagues. So there's people in the industry that are really high on him. You have other smart people like Dave McDonald talking about, hey, like this is it. Like this is him kind of bursting on the scene. This is something they expect rest of season from him. I'm a little more optimistic than Marty, I think. I don't know if he's going to be somebody that, hey, he's going to pitch to like a low 2s ERA, or in this case, obviously 0.81 ERA. I wouldn't be shocked if he had like a high 2s, low 3s ERA, a strikeout per 9, and could limit his walks and be a very serviceable 4 or 5 for you. Any leagues he's a free agent, I'm going to pick him up because he has that type of upside where he can be great. And you know what? If he's the old Nick Pivetta, you can always cut bait, but this type of potential does not flash too often. So I think he's worth the pickup in your leagues. One is also addressed with Matt. Gene Segura needs to pitch for. Maybe, I mean, you never know. He could be a dual threat. He could. You never know. And then Pivetta or Suarez. Assuming he's talking about, huh?
I said I assume he's talking Ranger.
Yeah, I actually picked up Ranger Suarez as well in one of our points leagues, and I feel more confident on Nick Pivetta.
I do too.
I'm interested to hear what Art says, because I think he was big. Weren't you big on Suarez going into the season?
I was big on Suarez. I always like to chase guys who show an ability to keep their whips low. Suarez has been pretty good, but he hasn't been as good as I had hoped he was going to be so far. He's been someone who you're not really dropping, but you kind of have to curate his starts. I think Pivetta has a higher upside, but possibly a lower floor. Like we're all waiting for him to start stinking again, right? Like in a month. If he keeps it going, then that'll be more surprising than these last few starts have been.
My only issue with Ranger was what he did at the end of the season was against bad competition. Like the shutout was against the Pirates.
He just had a great start against the Dodgers in his last start.
Well, I'm saying why we hyped him up going into this year.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Also, before we move on, just for Albert's thing here, how much fab would you spend on Nolan Gorman in a 12-team categories league? We can give you like a percentage. He has, obviously, I think he has 15 home runs in the minor leagues right now. Leads, I think, all of minor league baseball in that category, if I'm not mistaken. But he's got like a 36% strikeout rate in the minor leagues right now. So this could be short-term. He could also be easily overmatched and be one of those guys that has like a 40-something% strikeout rate in the majors. Obviously, being in a categories league definitely helps that, you're not going to lose points off strikeouts. But I don't know if he's somebody that's going to stick around long term. I would maybe spend like 5% of your fab.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was
around
thinking.
5%. Just because, again, this isn't somebody I'm looking at as like, oh, he's up for good. So I wouldn't spend like you did, like with the George Kirby,
Royce Lewis,
or like a Royce Lewis. Yeah, that's you know what? You're a good transitioner, Marty, because I'm gonna go to Mr. Royce Lewis. Where did he go? Where did my guy Royce Lewis? I didn't even upload his.
He went back down.
You didn't even upload him.
No,
these are major league eligible players only.
Did someone delete his slide on here? I had him on here. Oh, whatever. We could skip it.
It's possible I did.
Well, we'll talk about. I was going to talk about Royce Lewis and everything he's doing. That's fantastic. But he was sent back down. So we'll talk about another major league player, Christian Walker. Last 7 games. This was as of Wednesday morning. 333, 429, 708 slash, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts over that time. He's got a 657 X slug in the top 2 percentile of all of baseball and only a 20.7% K rate, and above average exit velocity and max EV. And his X stats are very favorable. So this is a guy that, after a kind of tough start to the season, has really turned it on over the last month in May here. Is Christian Walker somebody in a 12-team league, Doc, that you find yourself potentially wanting to get a piece of?
Yeah. So, I mean, we've kind of been waiting for the Christian Walker breakout. I mean, David, you and I touted him up a couple of years ago. I mean, he's going to get the playing time, and the power has always been there. And he's been a good source of doubles as well. And you just like that the expected stats are backing it up. And as Marty said, they've scored as many runs as the Blue Jays. So that means they're a good offense, at least in the public perception.
Christian Walker is giving you power. He's obviously starting to hit for a better average. I think his average is creeping up. I think it's like expected batting average is like in the 260s right now. I think even though it's like down closer to 220. So better days are still coming for Christian Walker. So he's definitely, I think, worth an ad in 12-team leagues, or obviously 15 leagues, team leagues for sure. Gene Segura, a man that was probably dropped in a lot of leagues. This is the right Gene Segura slide. The last 7 games as of Wednesday morning: 368, 429, 579 slash line, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 8 runs, 5 doubles, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 4 stolen bases for my man Gene Segura over the last 7 days. My man was out there stealing bags, helping us roto players everywhere. Top 7% in XBA, exit velocity, and hard hit percentage. Ground ball rates are high, but his line drive rate's the highest it's been since 2017. So this looks like a guy that if you got frustrated with early on, you are regretting dropping him. Obviously, the stolen base is a big reason for that, but somebody that's also been producing for one of the best hitting lineups in baseball, LC.
Yeah, and if you're looking at his Statcast, his average exit velocity, his max exit velocity, his hard hit percentage, his XBA, blood red on all of those measurables that we like to look at to see if something's legit. And that's over the full season, not even over these just last 7 games. He's been doing very well in the last 7 games. I dropped him in one league. It's a 12-team league, and it's a daily moves league. But this is what happens when you get impatient. Segura is someone who I took because he was steady, and when the time came, you flinch, you make the move, drop him to pick up a streaming start, or because you want to pick up a different relief pitcher or whatever. And especially in these daily moves leagues, you end up making these types of drops. You have to move on from it. I am not moving on quite yet. It's a little bit painful, but yeah, if you held on to him, you're doing really well. You're feeling real good about that.
Yeah. This next guy is somebody I started, just kind of took a chance because he's produced, but his expected stats are not backing up what he's doing right now. Connor Overton, last 2 starts, 14 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 1.29 ERA, and 0.79 WHIP. He's got an 11.2% K rate. That is awful. ERA estimators show a strong regression. In his last start, no pitches with whiff rates above 28%. Just how bad is technically Connor Overton, just as far as the expected stats? Well, if you look over his StatCast page, he's got an expected 3.64 ERA from his 1.82 ERA. He's got an expected batting average of 273 against him, a 407 X slug. All his pitches show there's a ton of regression coming for those. So Connor Overton is not somebody that I'm looking to add for the long haul. He's somebody I think it's extremely matchup dependent, and you better be careful because that blow up start is coming. Don't you think so, Marty?
Yeah, and the biggest thing with him, and you look at his minor league stats. So over 205 innings, he has a 4.04 ERA. Obviously, nothing about that really jumps off the page. It's something you want to completely believe in. And over that time as well, I think a 1.41 WHIP. So no, I would stay away. We know what the Reds park is. It's very small. It's hard to have continued success. And then the wins aren't going to be there either. I don't really see him going, more than 6 innings ever. So deep leagues, maybe just, ride it until it crashes, but that's about it.
Yeah. Foxborough News question: Max Meyer or Grayson Rodriguez, will they be called up this year? And is any one of these guys a must add? And if so, what kind of league would fit best? Grayson Rodriguez and Max Meyer are definitely going to be must adds.
Isn't Max hurt?
I didn't think he was hurt. He just had a really rough last 2 starts.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. He's
Yeah,
getting blown. Yeah, that's what it was. He was getting blown up back
he gave
then.
up, I think, 3 home runs in his last start, like 6 earned runs. He gave up the same amount of earned runs in his last start than the 6 previous combined. That's how like crazy bad it was.
No, he's going on the minor league IL with ulnar nerve irritation. He's going to miss at least 1 start and then be reevaluated, but the organization does not believe it to be serious.
He's not coming up this year.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean,
Grayson will, I think.
Yeah, they're both 100% worth a pickup if they get called up. If I'm in like a 12-team league, though, I'm not stashing these guys because if you're in a redraft 12-team league, there's too many players that you need for your, especially if you have limited bench spots, that you can't just hold these guys and wait. So I would just make sure you look in the news, keep up to date with, hey, like, are these guys, like, if they're still producing to a certain point, and then kind of just keep an eye on what people are saying. Like, hey, is Bruce Zimmerman going on the IL with biceps tendonitis or something like that? Like, hey, there's an opening in the rotation. Let me go ahead and go get Grayson Rodriguez because he's the most likely guy to be called up. That's how you can beat your league mates for that. But again, I'm not doing that stuff right now.
I don't think Grayson gets called up till the end of the year, if I'm being honest.
No, I mean, we can make a bet on that. I think he gets called up in June.
All right, we can make a bet off the pod.
We talk about him a lot on the call up, which comes out the beginning of every week. And he's the top pitching prospect in baseball. And he's somebody that the Orioles, especially the fact the Orioles are not god awful yet. When they call up Adley Rutschman, DL Hall, they said potentially also could get called up this year. They're going to bring all these guys up. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them do it at the beginning of the summer, especially, as you're trying to show fans you're competitive, sell tickets, all that type of stuff.
So you're talking to a guy that's gone to 5-0 games. That's not going to put people in the seats. And what do you mean they're not god awful? They're 15-24, last in the division, 13.5 games behind the Yankees already.
I mean, there's a lot more worse teams than them. All right, next let's go to our next guy here, Chase Silseth. Last start versus Oakland, 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 10 whiffs on 81 pitches. He got 4 with his fastball and 6 with his splitter. He's got a pretty awesome 64% ground ball rate in this start with low quality of contact. This looks like, again, somebody who's outperforming his ERA metrics and very much so looks like somebody that I would maybe just kind of cautiously pick up and use in spot starts, Doc. I don't know if this is a guy that I think I trust, again, week in, week out. If it's a weekly league, maybe he's somebody I look at the matchups. If they're good, I'm starting him. Other than that, I'm probably benching him. Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's a streamer. He hasn't given you kind of the sample size you're looking for. I mean, the 64% ground ball rate is encouraging, especially with the low quality of contact. But I think a lot of times when people start making more starts and there's more film, like it's always a ticking time bomb for somebody to just explode for an awful outing. Like someone that's had 2 or 3 good outings to begin the year, that's a recipe that they get blown up their 4th or 5th.
Yeah. Definitely somebody and I think he goes against a Friday against Oakland again. So it's a good start there. So he actually is a favorable streamer for tomorrow, that start against Oakland, or today if you're listening to the podcast. Our next guy, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yusei Kikuchi. Last 3 starts, 17.1 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, 7 walks, and 20 strikeouts. He got 11 whiffs on 90 pitches for Seattle in his last start. Walk rate a career high, though, 14.7%. That's not going to be good. Changeup remains elite, which I'm kind of wondering if he'll throw it more. LC, I know you're a Kikuchi guy, or I thought you were a Kikuchi guy. What about if he's on your waiver wire in a 12-team league? Is he somebody that you're interested in picking up?
He is. Kikuchi, for me, is very matchup dependent, and playing in that division, he's often playing against difficult opponents. But he started this season with, Boston, Yankees, Houston, Tampa Bay, Boston, Houston, Yankees. It was like that was like his first 6 starts were all against last year's playoff teams. And his performance wasn't very good. He's starting to get a little bit of a softer part of the schedule, and he's starting to put together some good starts. I think if you have he's the image of a team streamer to me, someone who, if you can keep him on your bench and use him when he has better matchups, someone who I would hold on to.
Yeah, I like Kikuchi, and yeah, I agree with you, LC there. Next guy here, The Moose, Mike Moustakas, last 7 games, 261, 370, 565 slash, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 5 runs, a double, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He does have a 306 batting average with 3 home runs in May, 7 walks, and 9 strikeouts. So he's literally almost got the same amount of walks and strikeouts. In April, that was 15 strikeouts to 2 walks. So he is really improved in May. Ground ball rates are career low, and he's hitting ball to all fields. He's pulling the ball the least amount he has over the last couple seasons here. I picked Moose up in a couple leagues, and he's been very serviceable for me here. Do you guys have a problem picking up Mike Moustakas in a 12-team league? Obviously, I think in 15-teamers or more, he's already picked up. But I think he's someone that's a corner infielder that's very serviceable right now for you.
I don't mind picking him up, but I wouldn't have hope that he plays a while. I mean, seems like he's been dealing with foot issues the past year and a half with plantar fasciitis. Like it doesn't seem like that's something that's going away, and the DH certainly helps. But I would just say to temper your expectations.
Fair enough. Last guy we'll touch on here. I believe he actually just got sent down with Zach Logue. Last 2 starts, 11.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Only walking 6.8% of batters, but 27.3 ground balls and a 38.2% fly ball rate is not going to get it done. They just get sent down. So nobody's going to be starting him at this point while he is sent down. So somebody that was one of the top pitchers added over the last few weeks here. So just kind of wanted to bring his name up here. All right. Time for an LC special. Time to bring out your dead.
Ha 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 ha. Bring out your dead. Here we are on the AAA Fantasy Baseball Show. We are here to serve you people. And how are we going to serve you today? We're going to serve you by bringing along our death cart and helping you drag away these bodies that are cluttering up your fantasy roster. Unfortunately, there's a lot of pain in the fantasy industry, and we have a lot of people who wanted to show for us to come drag out these bodies. The first body that we are going to drag out comes from our boy Detroit Beastie Chris Robin, Nick Senzel. Nick Senzel, what are the facts? Number 2 overall pick in 2016. The hope springs no more on Nick Senzel. I'm not sure. Let's look at it. He last played May 3rd. This is his second IL stint of the season already. What he put up when he played was only a 45 WRC plus, 1 home run, no steals. His rehab began with the Louisville Bats May 18th. I thought this was a funny little clip from the newspaper in Louisville. Senzel is returning to the Bats for the first time since August 14th, 2021. That was the last time he was recovering from an injury, was last August. And then the last part of it says, Senzel originally made his AAA debut with the Bats on April 6, 2019. And then he played 44 games until the season was cut short when he tore a tendon in his right index finger. I mean, this is just a guy, Senzel, he's just snake bit. I have no problem dropping him if you need the space. If you've held on to him, he should be back very soon, coming up soon. You might as well keep holding him as long as you have the space. But he's definitely someone who I would cut if I needed the space. Senzel, bring you on the death cart. Let's take you out. Tyler O'Neill. This is a tough one for me. I came out, stuck my neck out for Tyler O'Neill, and he has not helped. What are some of the facts? Last season, the 25th best hitter overall, according to the Razzball Player Rater. His final ADP coming into the season was 47, a min pick of 26th. He was taken in the second round of 15 teams. Now, if you look at where he is now, he's out for the second straight game, and he's only given you a 62 WRC plus this season. 2 home runs, 3 steals, and 34 runs plus RBIs. Right now, he is the 141st hitter overall, and if you want a good outfielder named Tyler, maybe you should drop him for Tyler Naquin, because if you are watching the show on YouTube, you will see that Tyler O'Neill is only the 3rd best guy named Tyler in baseball. So
I love that stat.
So Tyler O'Neill has been just a disappointment. You expected a lot from him. A lot more pain to come, unfortunately. Britton, the provider of our camera, wants us to drag away Eduardo Rodriguez Britton, I'm so sorry to hear you have him on your roster, but
Or Marty.
Poor Marty, drag away we will. Eduardo signed a 5-year, $77 million contract. His ADP coming in was 145. He was about the 50th pitcher off the board. He's headed to the 15-day IL. He has been the 357th best pitcher, according to Razzball. As you see, if you're watching, he's in good company. A lot of owners of pitchers are disappointed. Charlie Morton owners, Jose Urquidy owners are disappointed with, and they're all clumped right around that Erod range. Hopefully, Erod can come back and pitch well, but definitely droppable in most formats. The next person who was suggested is the very own Matt Chapman. The Matt was the he was the content of SP streamer. Is he going to hit over 235? I think 75% of the people said no. So what are we? He was traded from Oakland to Toronto coming into the season. That's an upgrade if you get the spelling, the double D for the 2 Ds at the end of upgrade for his double dose of pimping. If you guys have seen Idiocracy, that's a joke from Idiocracy. Doc's MVP pick in 2020. Matt Chapman. I got receipts.
That's why I was out on him this year. He burned me once.
So he's hitting 185. He's hitting 7th in the batting order. And I found this very helpful tweet from Shane, a.k.a. Shane. When the A's drafted Matt Chapman as high as they did, one of the reasons was he was also a very good pitcher. So if his bat didn't come along, they could put him on the mound again. Thank you, Shane. I guess all of us can use him in our staff now. This is the same type of, well, actually, unhelpful tweet that Twitter is littered with, and I'm sorry to say that. Anyway,
so you basically are saying, oh man, if I had time to, oh, here we go.
Nerd alert!
Yeah. Perfect. Now, Uper put 2 names onto the list: Wander Franco and Ronald Acuna. Now, Ronald Acuna had a groaning groin issue. Now, if you are watching, the picture that is up is the top search image for groaning groin. If you Google groaning groin, so Ronald Acuna's groaning groin is
that his nickname now?
It is now. I don't know. It's maybe let's put it on the
it's a TPF nickname now.
On the groaning groin Acuna. And Wander Franco, who has been cold lately. I put the J.R.R. Tolkien quote, "Not all who wander are lost." I think these two are fine. Acuna and Wander actually aren't doing that poorly lately. Acuna just got off of about an 8 or 9 game hitting streak. I think hold tight. These are tough ones to have to deal through, especially Acuna. You waited a long time. But I think they're going to be okay. Let's move on to the next. Return from the dead. People coming back in the next few days. Tomorrow, May 20th, Votto, Josh Naylor, Chris Bryant, and Jorge Soler come off the IL. Ryan Mountcastle on Saturday, and Joey Wendell on Sunday. Next Monday, Nick Senzel and Kyle Lewis. On the 26th, Austin Meadows, Willie Adames. 27th, Jonathan India, and the 28th, Sal Perez. Those are the dead that are going to return from the dead very shortly. And I've also decided that we are going to have the IL Power Rankings, May 19th IL Power Rankings. Those players on the IL that are causing the most pain for their fantasy owners right now. The IL Power Rankings, first overall in the IL Power Rankings is Fernando Tatis. For all the people who drafted him first overall or second overall in the first so many months when we had no information about injuries, he's tops in my power rankings. Jacob deGrom second, Chris Sale third, Lance Lynn and Eloy Jimenez, Jack Flaherty make up 4, 5, and 6. Scherzer is 7. Scherzer is out longer than the last 3, but he's already given you some really good fantasy statistics. So there's pain with it because you're missing it, but you've already got some really good stats from him so far. McCullers is scheduled to come back early next month. Sits at a solid 8th in the IL power rankings. Eddie Rosario, who was terrible. He might actually have caused the most pain so far because of how badly he played. And Tyler McGill is 10th in our power rankings, hoping he's back in the next 2-3 weeks. Honorable mention, Clayton Kershaw, Andrew Heaney, Adbert Alzolay, the Lizard King himself, Jesus Luzardo, and Miguel Sano. Let's check in next week and see if there's any change in the IL power rankings.
Good work from LC. That was very well done, LC. Very well done. I do want to take a second shout out Sean Barton, who actually reached out on Twitter and said he wanted to check out some of the live shows here is popping in. Thank you guys. I'll hang up and look. Sean, stuff like that definitely makes our day when people check in, see how the show is going, and join the show. So any questions you have that you want to hop in, always just put them in the chat and we'll answer them. And appreciate you checking out the show, my friend. Let's move now to the schedule for next week. These are the teams 7, 6, and 5 games for those listening to the podcast. Just so you know, there are 2 teams that play 5 games next week. It is the White Sox and the Marlins. So White Sox and Marlins play 5. Every other team plays 6 or 7. So that's pretty much, unless you have either of those 2 teams, I wouldn't worry about any lineup decisions in terms of playing time. Most added from this past week, this is as of Monday morning. Brandon Drury topping the list in 44% of leagues he was added in. Josh Naylor, Juan Yepez, Martin Perez, Yusei Kikuchi, Reed Detmers, Zach Logue, Alec Thomas, and Jonah Heim top the most added players courtesy of CBS. I think the best nickname I've heard so far is Juan Yepez, or it's Pez dispenser. That's what it is. I think it's pretty sick. Most dropped, Chris Paddock, who actually, this was before it was announced he had Tommy John surgery. He is going to miss all of the rest of this season, probably most of next season. Could be back in 2024. Dropped in 16% of leagues. Jared Kelnick, Michael Pineda, Alex Kirilloff, Mitch Garver, Austin Gomber, Jesus Sanchez, and Nate Lowe are your most dropped players over the last week. You guys are popping in the private chat. What are we talking about here? Are you guys have you finished your first Truly, Doc? Is that?
Yeah, I finished my first. I'm waiting to my hitting streamers to open number 2.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Just some injuries real quick. These are just 10-day IL guys. Clayton Kershaw, Ryan Mountcastle, Lucas Sims, Manuel Margot, who had been surprisingly hot, Tyler McGill, Joey Wendell, Austin Meadows, Brandon Lau, Jesus Luzardo, Victor Reyes, and Salvador Perez. Yeah, Marty's just giving them like a cross his heart. Hope you do better. Miguel Sano, Alex Reyes, Anthony DeSclafani, and Michael Pineda are all in the 60-day IL. I put Jake Odorizzi there because I made this slide a few days ago, and they said they'd be surprised if he pitches again this season, but he's supposed to come back. So that was a premature one on my part. Chris Paddock would be on that list, though, as he, again, is out for the year. And then just some notable transactions. Michael Conforto could return in September. Astros acquire Mauricio Dubon in a trade. Diamondbacks promoted outfielder Alec Thomas. I think that was just a mistake that was left on there. So just ignore that. I think there was we just had Nolan Gorman and Matt Liberatore get called up. That's huge. If you listen to the call show, we've been talking about these guys for weeks. That's where you get most of the prospect stuff that we talk about on Triple Play. It's the call up, which comes out every Monday or Tuesday morning. So that we go in depth with all those guys there. Doc, it is time for your hitting streamers. I know you've been itching to get to it. Are you going to crack one on the live stream?
That's the new sound effect for the hitting streamers.
Yeah, I was just going to give it to you. Our buddy Matt, Jared Kelnick chose violence against me. He has been absolutely brutal. Jared Kelnick, somewhere Eric Cross is very upset. I know.
I mean, proud for him for sticking through it. And a little bit of a spoiler, Jared Kelnick is not a hitting streamer. Got to show you the graphic first. So the first is Mr. Cole Calhoun. There's a Calhoun in Texas that gets some playing time. It's not Willie. Owned in 6.3% of ESPN leagues. His last 7 games, he's been on fire. 417, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, and 5 runs. And the last time he had regular playing time, in 2019, he had 33 homers in 152 games. So you know the ceiling that he's providing. He's 34 now, and he had that in his age 32 season. So he can still provide some power. And the Rangers next week play 6 games on the road. So maximizing the amount of plate appearances he has on there, I would roll with him if you're looking to stream a hitter.
What do you got against his body? You cut off his entire body.
You know what? I knew you were going to bring that up. They have no pictures on him on Google with him hitting in a Texas uniform.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. He hasn't been that impressive yet. That'll be the barometer if he's done well, if there's a picture of him hitting next week. The next, Mr. Brendan Donovan, somebody that got promoted that wasn't Nolan Gorman. He's owned in 1.9% of ESPN leagues. And through 18 MLB career games, he's having a 294, 478, 500 triple slash. And we've really seen an improvement in his plate discipline as he has 9 walks in his last 7 games, which makes me think he's improving as a hitter. Hopefully that's a little bit sustainable and kind of looking for the long run. But if you look at his 2021 across 3 levels, he had 304, 12 homers, 66 RBIs, 19 stolen bases. Now, is he going to provide that at the major league level? Most likely not, but you know that he's a multi-category contributor, especially in roto leagues. And overall, the Cardinals have a good offense. And if he's providing good counting stats on there, you know, maybe he's going to block Nolan Gorman from playing time on there. But also the DH helps. And the last, it's no one sexy. It's Miguel Rojas with his one time a year weekly stream. Before I do that, did you see that thing with Marco Gonzalez where they said he wasn't sexy and he quote tweeted it and put it in his bio? And he's like, at least my wife doesn't say that.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But getting back to Miguel Rojas with his non-sexy stream, owned in 4.8% of ESPN leagues. He's hit safely in 3 out of the last 4. Hit his second home run of the season this week. Soler has back tightness, which could lead to more playing time for Rojas. And the Marlins offense is hot. They scored 41 runs their last 7 games. So you don't want to take someone out that's hitting well in a hot offense.
All right. I like it, Doc. Good hitting streamers. I think you've been hot recently.
I have been pretty hot. I've been sexy. I've been a little Marco Gonzalez sexy.
Then you've been not sexy. All right. Why don't we go now to Marty's, I believe it is your 2-start pitchers that are next, if I'm not mistaken.
Ding, ding. You got it right? Hello. Welcome to the 2-start streamers. It's time to go through it. So just for you guys tracking along here, these are going to be the 2-start pitchers starting on the 23rd of May through the 29th. Okay. And we always start off with the no doubters. So those of you tuning in on YouTube get an amazing photo of Gwen Stefani when she was a no doubt, when she was
yes.
Cool. Hard knows. See, we're old.
I know.
I'm not wearing any pants right now, so you can't put pictures of that.
All right. So these are the no doubters. You're going to play them every single week. Garrett Cole versus Baltimore at Tampa Bay. Walker Buehler at Washington at Arizona. That's going to be a really good week for Buehler owners. Corbin Burns at San Diego at St. Louis. Max Fried, Philly versus Miami. Then Zach Wheeler at Atlanta, at New York Mets. Pablo Lopez at Tampa Bay, at Atlanta. And then Shane McClanahan versus the Miami Marlins, and then the Yankees. So those ones, no doubt you're going to plug them in. Then we move on to the, why not? So, as always, these are guys that you feel, you're going to play them. You know, there may be a little bit of variance. You may not feel 100% confident, but you're not going to sit these guys. So I'm going to start off with Luis Garcia versus Cleveland at Seattle. Sonny Gray, welcome back. He gets one of the best schedules with Detroit and then go to the Royals. Sonny Gray owners, you've waited a long time for success. Hopefully it comes, and especially for you, David, for your Twins. Tyler Mahle, he versus the Cubs and then San Francisco. I actually had him as risky business and then another really good start yesterday. And so I'm buying back into him. I have a bunch of shares of him, so I'm glad he's doing well. This one, it just makes me, I don't know, you can probably hear the smile on my face. Tyler Anderson, after another great outing at Washington, at Arizona, 2 great starts. You got to play him right now. Right, Doc?
Marty, stop having a bias towards people with Tyler A, okay?
That's good. Touche. All right. Keep the Trulies going. Jordan Montgomery versus
We're on
Baltimore.
high noons now, okay?
Oh, you got high noons going? There we go.
Yeah.
There's one way to lock in a new follower. I don't know, what was that comment for? Was that for the high noon?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
so you'll have to tell us. I don't know which comment that was for, but you locked in me as a fan with the high noon there, Doc.
Never had it.
If it's because of my jab to Marty, I'll take a shot to that right now.
Ooh, there we go. No, you have to wait. We're doing the next one. You're taking the shot.
Okay.
All right. Jordan Montgomery versus Baltimore at Tampa Bay. Blake Snell, welcome back. You didn't love what you saw from him, but he's always a slow starter. It's going to take him a while to get going, but you have to play him. You probably picked him in the first 4 rounds. Jose Barrio, I'm still rolling him out there. There's no way I'm not. I understand. I think who was it? Patrick Corbin did a really good. Not Patrick Corbin. Who's Corbin? Corbin on baseball Twitter. What's his last name?
Corbin Young.
Yeah.
Oh, the Gwen Stefani pick.
There we go.
See, Sean?
You got me as a fan too.
Stuff that gets in. Anyway, Barrio's doing well. I expect, or he's doing really bad, but I expect him to bounce back. Alex Cobb. So I have long put him on the risky business or even the take a seat list. Did you know Alex Cobb has a 5.61 ERA, but he has a 1.83 expected ERA? And we were talking about this off air. That's almost 4 points difference. I have to run him out there. He's going against the Mets, who are, that's a top, 12, 10 offense at this point. Cincinnati's terrible. So I'm running him out there. Nick Pivetta, we spent enough time on him. He's doing really well. He's got the White Sox, and he goes against Baltimore. Doc, is the shot ready for the risky business, also known as the questionable segment?
Well, you know what? I'll take a shot, but I don't disagree with anything on it. Eduardo Rodriguez is on the IL, Marty.
I'll take the thing off for you, Doc, if you want to take it on camera.
Marty can continue talking. I'll take this shot to him putting Tyler Anderson on. Why not?
So you don't want to? People won't believe you actually took it.
All right, well, let Marty do it, and I'll take it right after before
right,
I take a seat.
I'll finish it out. So risky business. I mean, these guys. Hey, if you're feeling lucky, roll the dice. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or like you just need somebody. You need some strikeouts. You need some counting stats. Take the.
For those that are listening to the podcast, Britton, of course, put his Doc crushing wine crackers. Cheers, Doc, and happy birthday.
If it's alcohol, I'll drink it.
There you go. So we have risky business guys: Steven Matz, Toronto, Milwaukee; Kel Quantrill at Houston, at Detroit; Kyle Gibson, Gibby. I love Kyle Gibson, but first the Braves, the Mets. That literally is risky business. Josiah Gray versus the Dodgers versus Colorado. Zach Greinke somehow still doing it. I can't put him on the sit list, and he still has a decent ERA. He's defying all odds. Eduardo Rodriguez, that one hurts the most. Let's just move on. Adrian Hauser at San Diego, at St. Louis. Those are my risky business. But before I get into it, take a seat. It's time for the next segment. Take a shot.
That's right.
Wait. How is Adrian Hauser on risky business? He needs to be on take a seat.
He does. Hold on. Lucas says, I've never seen Art on video. Always imagined him as a 40-year-old bully. Dude.
Cheers to that, Lucas. Cheers to that.
Cheers to
that. Art's face right now. Oh, Lucas, that just made my day. Oh my goodness.
David, I'm at the 2.5 right now, so when I finish it, that'll be 3.
Oh, Lucas, that was my favorite comment of the stream. LC, while he takes a shot at you, he commented that.
No.
He might be on mute. Oh, no, I can hear him.
He's speechless.
Doc, you gonna take your shot?
I did.
I just want to tell him to get off my lawn.
You're gonna tell him to get off your lawn.
And after that amazing shot, let's go to take a seat. And guys, this is, if you're tuning into YouTube, you have an amazing photo here of Zach Davies and his former wife. I had to pull it up here. So these are the guys, no matter what, do not start these guys. The take a seats: Zach Davies versus Kansas City at the Dodgers; Dylan Bundy versus Detroit versus Kansas City; Drew Smyly at Cincy at the White Sox; Kyle Friedland at Tampa Bay at Washington; Dalton Jeffries at Seattle versus Texas; Antonio Senzatella at Pittsburgh at Washington. That one may be extremely desperate, but hey, the matchups are pretty good. Jordan Lyles at New York at Boston. No way. JT Brubaker, he'll get you some strikeouts. He's going to destroy your ERA. Sit him against the Colorado and at San Diego. And then I can't see the last one. What is that?
I think it's Johan Doan.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Versus Dodgers at Colorado. No, thanks.
I love the take a seat set. Did we decide we were going to say it's the Chris Hansen pitcher?
I mean, we could, but.
Is it messed up if I would hit on Zach Davies' wife? She is single now.
I know
His ex-wife? No,
Ex-wife.
I think that's fine. Yeah, she's fair game.
She did not delete her Instagram. Her Instagram is still up.
Oh, well, you could take your chance, Doc.
There you go.
Why don't you
we'll report back next week.
Yeah, there you go. While we're with you, Doc, why don't you tell us some pitching streamers?
All right. So, got to go to the graphic right here. And the first is Mr. Madison Bumgarner. And if you're looking at that picture right now, it's when he had to get held back. So he's only owned in 3% of ESPN leagues, which I thought was kind of wild. He's gone 5 innings pitched in all starts, not ejected besides opening day. It's a very specific stat, but it's true. So he's giving you enough innings to get the win. He's not going to give you the K upside, but good ratios. Prior to his start at LA Dodgers, where, let's be honest, most people fail, hit a 1.79 ERA. And this weekend, he's projected to go at Chicago Cubs, who have 148 runs scored on the season, which is 4th fewest in the NL. I feel confident rolling him out. The next is Brad Keller. I would call him Bad Keller, but I don't think he's that in this start. Owned in 24% of ESPN leagues, 2.24 ERA in 3 home starts, where he has a 20.1 innings pitched, 5 earned, 10 Ks. And what I'm really encouraged by him is some of the metrics beyond that, because he has a career low in walks per 9, just a shade under 2 at 1.85. And he has 0 hits by pitch and wild pitches. He had 12 last year, and he's over 25% of what he threw last year in terms of innings. So I think his command has been better, and that's why we've seen a little bit better results. And he gets to face the Twins this weekend, who have had a couple good offensive games where they've scored 11 and 12. But besides that, they scored 3 runs or fewer in 9 out of their last 12 games. So looking at that trend, I think Keller is a good streamer. And the last is David Peterson, owned in 2.3% of ESPN leagues. Now, he actually hasn't been officially called up yet, but he was scratched from his AAA start. And if it's because they're bringing him up, it's because he's in line to face the Rockies, replacing Max Scherzer in the rotation. He's made 4 starts this year with a 1.89 ERA, 1.11 WHIP, 16-8 walk to strikeout ratio in 19 innings. And with Scherzer on the table the next 6 to 8 weeks, David Peterson's in line to have a locked spot in that rotation. So from what we've seen so far, I think he's worth a flyer and somebody that you should stream this weekend, because he hasn't shown anything otherwise that you wouldn't pick against him. His last appearance in AAA went 6 innings, I think 2 earned, 5 Ks. So fairly good start in the minors as well.
All right. Nice pitching streamers there, Doc. Let's go from your pitching streamers to our Marty's Weekend Warriors.
Yes, let's go. All right, this is time for your Weekend Warriors, and this is going to help you guys out from May 20th through the 22nd. So this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As always, I'm looking at guys that can just, hopefully spark your offense. If you need a bat, somebody that's going to play, a bunch of games or have some good matchups, these are somebody who can get you some home runs, some of those counting stats. And on the other side, to get you 3 streamers, for this weekend. Starting with Cole Calhoun. So Doc's already kind of touched on it, man. I mean, he's extremely hot right now, outfielder for the Rangers, 11% rostered in Yahoo. Over the last 7 days, the 34-year-old has batted .478 with 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 7 runs. This week he goes against the Astros. Astros are one of the best pitching staffs in baseball. So it's going to be, a little bit more difficult for him, but when he's this hot, you have to ride it out. Number 2 is going to be Mark Canha, outfielder for the New York Mets, rostered in 41% of Yahoo leagues. Over the last 7 days, he's batting .333 with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 7 runs. Most impressively over that span, he has a .478 OBP. So always an OBP monster. He's batting mostly second in the Mets lineup, and the Mets are going to be traveling to Coors. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So expect tons of home runs flying out of that ballpark all weekend. Number 3 is Christian Walker. We've already went over him. So let's just, 25% rostered in Yahoo. The last 7 days, he's got 3 home runs. He's .393 OBP. He's batting cleanup every day for the Diamondbacks. So they're taking on the Cubs over the weekend. That's a middling rotation at best. So, I expect him to continue his hot hand. Hopping over to the pitchers, I got to go Jose Quintana again. I mean, I didn't write down his rostership, but it's still extremely low. We already went over last weekend. He pitched 7 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts. He got you the quality start. On the season, he has a 2.19 ERA with a 1.08 WHIP and 30 strikeouts. He's defying all odds, so keep doing it. They're going against the Cardinals. They're 12th in team OPS, on the season, so it's not exactly a breeze of a matchup. But I expect them to continue, to limit hard contact and pitch around the better hitters there. Number 2, Wade Miley, 10% rostered. Hey, I'm not a Wade Miley guy. Last year he had an amazing year.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is where I draw the line. I should have saved the shot for this, and I might take another one right now.
Hey, it's not too late. He's 10% rostered, and last time out, 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, got the win, got the quality start, and he's taken on the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, it's just like
Arizona Diamondbacks have a good offense, according to you.
No, they don't. 23rd. They're not good. So,
I won't. Jose Quintana and Wade Miley. If the last one was Patrick Corbin, I'd have to quit and find a new baseball pod.
Everyone in the chat, everyone listening, people will be listening in your cars the next day. Remember this next time this week, we're going to go over how great Wade Miley pitched. It's going to be amazing.
Gosh, Marty, if you do that, I'm blocking your number.
There's upside to that as well. So lastly, it's going to be Yusei Kikuchi. He's broken my heart all year because I don't have him, and I've been pushing him off, and every time I turn around, he has another quality start. So good for him. He's walking people a ton, but roll him out there. He's doing well.
Yeah. Just a couple of comments in the chat. Britton said Doc is going to wake up tomorrow and realize he made 55 drunk DMs to Megan Davies. It's the cap.
Yeah, I will. I will comment on a pic later and screenshot it. I may not slide in the DMs, but
I'm sure you will. And then Lucas says, who are some mid-tier hitters you target in a trade? Looking currently in a 10-team 5x5 league, and dependable bats are hard to come by. Like in every 10-team leagues, it's going to be a bunch of free agents out there. All teams are usually going to be stacked. I think we kind of talked about one early in the show. I think like Gene Segura, with all the stolen bases he's getting for a 5x5 league, somebody that you could put in there and stream, get the stolen bases. He's hitting some home runs. I think he's been hitting at the top of the Philadelphia order too, so it gives you some good counting stats. I'm trying to think of a couple others that might pop in.
I feel like this could be a potential trade low or buy low for Ozzy Albies in a 5x5.
Or Marcus Semien.
Yeah, Corey Seager, all those guys.
Yeah, Marcus Semien can't get worse than he is now.
Marcus Semien will give you 10 to 15 stolen bases by the time the season's over. So he'll help in, some in that category. He's only going to get better at this point. I can't imagine.
Trevor Story, but you might have missed the window on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are all like performing mid-tier or lower that you could get. If they're at a free, people got frustrated with them and they dropped them.
Matt Olson too.
Yeah, we're not Matt Chapman. We're going to discuss that Eric's former MVP pick is not worth picking up.
The guy that I had him outside the top 12, by the way, 18th in points leagues. Cheers to that.
There you go. Let's now go to the last part of the show here, and that's going to be Art's Charts and Trends.
Oh, yeah.
Is he frozen?
He's frozen. We might.
Oh, he is. Wait, hold on. He did send us a text message in our TPS Baseball Pod group chat. My connection isn't good right now.
Look at the picture of him, though.
I was like a draw on it. Oh, wait, I think he's with us.
This and goes to the YouTube channel. Go 58 minutes in.
I think he's with us. He's moving.
He's delayed.
I can put up Art's trends and charts here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm
Go
back.
ahead.
Okay.
I'll see.
All right. So starting with trends is all right. Hopefully this works. This has been a
LC is gone.
Yeah, David, just go through his charts and trends.
All right. I don't have my glasses on. Can you guys read what that says?
Yeah, so it's home run percentage week to week. So we saw a big increase at the beginning of the season, or high at the beginning of the season. It was 3.25 home run percentage. Huge drop in next week, just like the stock market has done, to slightly over 2.25. And then we've seen it increase exponentially from slightly under 2.75 April 21st to the 27th, then slightly above that the following week. Now we're above 3 in May 5th to May 11th. And then right now we're at the highest it's been for the season, May 11th to May 18th. It's at 3.5 for the home run percentage. So that might be an indication that they're changing the ball, because we know MLB to do that. But overall for the season, it's been 3.7%.
Yeah, and then
no, that's
his
compared
next
to
slide.
Oh, compared to 2021. Art got connection enough to correct me.
LC, the floor is yours, my friend.
So batting average is starting to creep back up too as the weather's heated up with the season. Early on, the first few weeks of the season, we're in the low 230s. We've been above 235 each of the last 3 weeks, with a spike above 240 in week 5 of the season. That was last week. Compared to 2021 season over season, however, we are still down. Last season was a 244 batting average. We are trending up. We're currently at 234 and over 234 each of the last 3 weeks. So hitting appears to be on its way up as well. One thing I always like to look at in the trends and arch charts is stolen base attempts. And if my connection will keep me here, I will go on to the next slide. Oh, this is so awful.
LC.
The internet stinks so bad.
I got you, LC. Here we go.
All right. Okay, we're on. All right. So the third slide, I can't even see that it's changed. That's how messed up. There it is. All right. Stolen bases season over season. So the rate, stolen base attempt rate has increased from 2021 to 2022, 0.016 to 0.018. That's basically if you use stolen base attempts and put them over plate appearances, that's basically 1.6 stolen base attempts per 100 plate appearances in 2021. That's up to 1.8 in 2022. And if that rate continues over the course of this whole season, that we'll see an increase in stolen base attempts of over 300 attempts more, and over 170, almost 170 more stolen bases season over season. The teams that have been pushing the increase in stolen base attempts, if this works, I'm going to the next slide.
You're there.
The top 10 teams in stolen base attempts over.
Ty Cobb?
Okay. I think it might be Ty Cobb. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly who it is. Yeah, I think that might be Ty Cobb. The top teams with stolen base attempts this season. And so if you're wanting to target players that might be able to get you some stolen bases, these 10 teams are the ones that are attempting the most: Tampa Bay, St. Louis, Milwaukee, the Angels, Texas Rangers, the Seattle Mariners, the Kansas City Royals, the Oakland A's, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the New York Yankees. Those teams have all attempted the most stolen bases this season and are well above the top half of the league. So if you're looking to pick up somebody that pick up a little bit more with stolen bases, I would look at these teams, perhaps someone like Vidal Brujan.
Nice work there, LC, as always with that.
And that is the floor is back to the crew.
Yeah, I like that. Everybody's looking handsome today. Before we get out of here, guys, it's always, if we get a lot of YouTube questions, we kind of cut out the questioning game, which we're very happy to do. And we just save it for days where we don't get as many questions. But you know what? I will never do a questioning game again if we get that type of engagement every week. So it's always thanks to you guys that we can do what we love more and doing the questions and engagement throughout the show. I do have a question for you guys. I put a poll on Twitter a few hours ago, and I said, if you could only pick one, would you rather be able to throw 90 miles an hour, or would you rather be able to dunk a basketball? And because I had this conversation with one of my students today, and I actually couldn't decide, what would you guys pick?
It's got to be dunk a basketball. I'm 5'5". The odds of me ever dunking. I mean, look, I'm not doing either, but I played more basketball than I did baseball, and I know this is a baseball podcast, and I love fantasy baseball, but being able to dunk at 5'5" would probably resonate better for going viral.
Definitely dunking a basketball. I mean, think of just how many opportunities you have to show off in your life. You know, where pitching a baseball, it's like, I swear that was 90 guys. Like, oh, we don't have a radar gun. Like, no, it was. I promise. Dude, I'd be dunking all the time.
Yeah.
What about you, Elsie?
Marty sold me with that reason, being that you can't be walking around with a radar gun all the time. I think the dunk is the easier one to show off.
You could do like a hustle people, do like white men can't jump. Be like, I bet you I can dunk this basketball. Bet like $20.
Yeah, you could get insane odds too.
I actually decided more leaning towards throwing the 90 miles an hour because many people said you have a better chance to actually make serious money being able to throw 90 miles an hour. If you dunk, you're not necessarily going to make any money in terms of just like as a
How
pro
are you
athlete.
making money throwing 90 miles an hour though?
I mean, 100 miles an hour.
I mean, if you throw 90 miles an hour, you could be in the minor leagues, like, and if you have like good other stuff.
No. The question is, you don't have a good other pitch mix. You can throw 90 miles an
You're
hour.
throwing 90 straight fastballs.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I'll be the hit of like if I could throw 90 miles an hour and I can like play like semi-pro baseball in the area, everybody be like, "You're a god."
You'll be very good at carnival games if you can throw 90.
Yeah, I saw someone comment that too.
Oh, someone did comment that?
Yeah, they were like, "You'd be the hit at every carnival game."
Yeah, that's
Break
the
the
only thing that
machine.
90 like really is worth it for.
That's if I could
What about
throw
that-
90, my brother would stop saying that he could hit a baseball off of me. Yeah, I don't think your brother's touching you if you could throw 90. Oh
true.
yeah, but I mean, it's kind of interesting. The two skills that many people do not have. So it's
All right, David. The third option is you can hit a hole in one once every 10 times you golf.
oh, that's
hole in
100% that. 100% hole in one in golf.
Anything golf related being good at, David's taking that.
Yeah, my iron still needs some work. So I'm it's so frustrating that anything.
Quick little tidbit, because David's not going to cut it off now. We're at the gym the other day, and in between sets, David is practicing putting.
No, I was practicing my swing.
He's practicing his swing in between sets. I
I've
tried to
seen
get a
people do
video,
that.
but he caught me before.
That's not
Yeah.
that weird, unfortunately. My
No,
dad used
thank
to
you,
golf,
Marty.
and he would do that once in a while. So
All right,
I've seen
he's
it before.
he's a dad. David isn't a dad yet.
That's
Thank
true.
you, Mark. Thank you. On that note, we're going to wrap up. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoy the content on YouTube, please make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Like the video. All that stuff helps the algorithm if you leave comments as well. We're live here every Thursday night, guys. Most of the time, we're here at 6:30. Time may change every once in a while, but if you turn that notification bell on, you'll get notified every single time we go live, and you can hop in and hang out with us. I know Elsie, like he said, he won't be here next week, but we'll be here Thursday again, doing the same thing, hanging out with you guys, drinking, talking baseball, all the good stuff. If you guys are on the podcast version, we appreciate you guys there as well. If that's your preferred way to consume Triple Play, you guys can just search Triple Play Fantasy Baseball on any podcast platform, and we'll pop up there, and you guys can go ahead and subscribe there. So any way you guys support the show is greatly appreciated. And Marty also commented the link to our Discord where we talk all three sports. We talk gaming and movies. We talk a bunch of random stuff too, all in our Discord. So tons of great stuff there. So if you'd like to be part of the Discord, it is in the comment on this video, so you can check that out. That's all I got, guys. Anything you want to plug here before we get out of here?
Happy
I'll give
birthday.
a shout
Matt.
out to Marty. Marty's been on with his Weekend Warriors. You know, I got to give him crap when it's due, but I also
See what
gotta
happens
take
when he gets drunk? The truth comes out.
Yeah,
The truth comes out.
It's not drunk at all. It's not drunk at all. I give him so much crap for his questionable segment that he changed it. I got to give him some credit also. I got to be on both sides of the coin.
Marty's going to ask you to take some drinks before every show now. That's
I'll
how
do
this is going to go.
Mhm.
Everybody that's listening, also make sure you wish Doc a happy birthday on Twitter or anywhere that you follow him. 28 years young, going out and destroying his liver with all the alcohol tonight. So go ahead and do that.
Now
for
I'm
him.
not going out anymore.
But thank you guys again for tuning in. And, you know, like we do here, we'll catch you all next week. But until then, we're going to make like a bread truck and haul these buns. Catch you guys next week.